Good morning everyone, I'm starting a new vlog today. It's been a while that I took the camera in hand, but now that the end of the year is coming close and I'm starting slowly to wind down and get into a bit more cozy and calm mood, I thought why not take the camera and update you on all the things that have been going with us. Let's address the elephant in the room because that's going to be obvious as soon as I step back. I have a big news, or we have a big news, let's say like that. We are expecting a little one. You can already see that the bump is visible and has grown quite significantly. Okay, today's outfit is especially making it visible extra lot, but that's the point for an announcement, right? Other than that, as you can see, I just washed my hair and it needs some drying and styling. So let's go down, and whilst I do that and prepare the breakfast and all the rest, I'm gonna retell a little bit about this journey. I would say the last 4 months now, or I'm already in the 5th month, the last 4.5 months, let's say so. And mostly today I'm going to talk about like the myths of the early pregnancy signs that I have been crazy googling at the start, and most of them didn't turn out true for me. So if you are also planning to grow your family or are in the process and are making yourself crazy with it, yeah, you could stay in tune and listen to some of the experience, because I know that a lot of expected moms are really having the feelings, are having early on signs, but most of them didn't turn out true for me. So yeah, let's go. And so apologies that it's going to be echoing here, so I'm going to try not to speak as much, but a short thing that I wanted to mention is that I use this Olaplex number 6 Bond Smoother, which is leave-in styling treatment to add moisture and strengthen and reduce a frizz. I got this whilst we were on holiday in Spain and Portugal, because my hair would not be tamed. By the way, back then I was already pregnant and I knew it, but more about that later. Just my hair was acting up very bad, my skin was acting up as well, and I thought maybe this could help. I'm really happy with this product. You just have to apply it whilst your hair is very wet, from midpoint to the roots, and it definitely keeps the hair like intact. Maybe intact is not the right word, but like in place without having the ends freezing up all the time. It says that it only works 72 hours, up to 72 hours, but I can honestly say that for me it stays from washing to washing, and sometimes I wash my hair once in 4 days. So great thing, not a cheap product, but I don't know, I'm gonna definitely repurchase it once it's ending. So now that my hair is blow dried, it's not really blow dried, but like dried, I'm gonna apply a few drops of this new Gizu hair oil. To be frank, I didn't use the last one as much as I should have. I was always forgetting it. And then after a year, it started to change the color, which probably is because of the honey. Well, that happens when I'm eating like honey, which we have in the kitchen as well after a while, right? So I decided to get new one, especially now that on Black Friday there was an offer for the new Gizu products as well as the classic line. So I got my favorite hair oil again. I know there is this Moroccan oil, which in terms of the ingredients is doing a little bit better job than this one, bearing in mind that this one has silicone in it, which I don't mind, but I know that a lot of people do. So for me it decreases the frizz, like gives more elasticity, and I love the smell, I love the look of it. The rest of the ingredients are perfect, so why not? I think we're ready. a little bit of corrections on those a few spots that I have here and there, but I don't need much because I think we're gonna be mostly staying at home if we don't go out for a walk, which I want to do, but let's see about that. Just applied a little scoop over here. To be frank, my skin got a lot better after the first trimester because of all the hormonal changes. It started to act up again, and I was quite worried what it would look like at the end of the pregnancy if it would continue at that rate. Just reminded me of the time when I stopped taking pill. That was quite long ago, but I think it took almost a year for my hormones to settle. Yeah, TMI I know, but like period was fine, but I was feeling very anxious. I was all over the place, and then most importantly my skin was disaster. I think I was showing it on my Instagram for my close friends who are following me there. If I find the little clip in the phone still, I might insert what it looked like back then. It was not that bad right now with the pregnancy, but it could have gone there. But luckily it settled. So a tiny bit more. You can see how little I try to put on the brush because, yeah. If there are any good points about pregnancy apart from growing life inside you, which you wanted, it's definitely good hair. I don't know about the glowy skin. The glowiness has not come yet, but I'm glad that it's not acting up. With regards to the hair, I'm honestly surprised that it... Searching for the brow gel. Here we have it. With regards to the hair, I really am surprised what a progress it has made. As told, my hair is always brittle and frizzy and was breaking, and I felt like that it was very thin. I know that this is temporary and it's gonna go away. I don't really know why it has to go away and why we can't keep it. Why can't we drink, I don't know, some extra elixir or vitamins that could keep it like this forever? Well, obviously I'm taking the prenatal vitamins, but that's about it. I don't know if it's equal or not, but I hope it looks better than it did before. It's a super old naked palette that I have over here, and I have pink blush left over. So let's put a tiny bit so that I don't look like blush all day long. It's already a bit too hot. What do you think? And I also love to put blush on my eyes with the same brush. I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but why not? And then let's brunch a bit. Holding up the edges. Last step, my what is it called? Sculpt and Illuminator. I don't need to sculpt, but illuminating is always welcome. Don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to put a bit color because I look very pale again, even on the lips. But I don't want it to be like a contour. I'm staying at home, so I blurred out the edges. This one is the lip cheat in the color Super Size Me. Unfortunately, I lost the little tool that it came with while spinning Georgia, so yeah. Ready? I think I am ready for the day. Ooh, before I do that, I wanted to quickly show you my new pride and joy in my vase collection. Look at this beauty. It is so pretty. Made by the Lovelies studio from Scotland, if I remember it correct. And I just got this little branch that is very festive and Christmassy, I would say, or I would think. The collar is not very visible because it's against the light and it's super heavy, so I gotta put it back. But I love this one so much. I directly contacted the artist and she got me this one for the fraction of price that you get to buy it in the store, so always worth contacting the artists themselves. So I just put up the light, that's better. Gosh, in December it can be so gloomy and dark in here that the depression could potentially really start creeping in if I was not too excited for all the things that's upcoming. Anyhow, I just corrected this little corner over here because yeah, I'm having a pet peeve for things when they are not like on their proper places. So it looked a little bit distorted, but it always makes me smile when I look into this bathroom. Ah, it's just one of my favorite places in here. Schalte den Weihnachtsbaum an. Perfect. Let's get down. And there is the beauty. I love this view so much. Nothing makes me as happy as this. I really love how it turned out this year. I think that it fits a lot more to our house than a red decor that we had last year. I think I'm gonna insert a picture for you to compare, and please let me know which one is your favorite. I know that the red color is classic, but we went with a bit more neutrals this year, and because we have Jamesy and Liam, and you guys know that, we had to get everything which cannot be destroyed, like the baubles. So there are not that many choices, and I'm really proud that I found a few that are not looking very standard, like this ones and this ones, and then we have like cones over here and some big baubles. This one is like reflecting me, as you can see. So yeah, in my eyes it turned out just perfect. And I got out my Christmas decorations over here as well. Another branch, as you can see, the new mugs that are like pride and joy. I just got them for my birthday as well. Love them so much, so sculptural and beautiful. Super expensive as well for cups, but they're definitely worth it. Each time I drink a tea or matcha with it, it just makes me smile and gives me that warm fuzzy feeling. Yeah, this little wooden tree and the other one over there. So yeah, that's the situation at home. Somebody is very happy this morning. How is life, Jamesy? Perfect, isn't it? I know it is. I definitely want to eat some bread. Let's try yogurt. I think this might not be enough. Here we go. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Don't know if you can tell. No, you can't see it, right? Mia is like climbing the shelf over here. Come down, come down. So basically that's what they start doing when they are hungry and they are not happy with the food. They start to get annoying. And so basically this is my breakfast this morning. I know this one is not very healthy. It's a processed meat, but at least chicken, nothing air dried or raw. And then I have some salad leaves, which basically have no nutritionist value, but it was in the kitchen, in the fridge, and I honestly did not want to throw it away. I always feel bad when throwing away the food, so that's it. I have peanut butter and jam, classic combination, some honey, and yogurt with mango over here. Sorry about the sound, I'm preparing matcha for myself. So you guys, I arranged the lights behind the camera because it's getting super dark. It's much later in the day, but we had a few things that we wanted to do beforehand, and now I can quietly sit here and talk to you about the main topic that I wanted to talk about in this video. Please generally let me know if you want like dedicated videos with regards to the pregnancy and different trimesters and the topics, or if you like them integrated in the vlog type of content like I do at the moment. But let's give this a try. So if you're watching until now, please give me a sign. Expecting mom or the one planning to get a baby in the future can be an anxious process. For some it works just like that, and for some people there are few things in preparation that goes in hand. And in any case, when you're like planning to grow your family, you become somewhat into the routine of checking for every type of sign, unless you have super busy schedule and you just leave it to the mother nature whenever it's gonna happen. But at least I'm that type of person that when we decided to get a kid, each month that we tried, and it was not super long, it was between 6 months and 8 months that it took us to get pregnant, but I was each month sort of looking out for the signs, not super anxiously. It was not something that was like overwhelming my day. I did not take it negative. At the end of the month when my period would come, you know, I've heard about girls who were crying over getting period, being disappointed that their body could not produce the baby that they think they are created for. I say think because it's something that's a choice. In today's world we don't have to say that that's the like function that we have as a females. But if you want it, obviously, and you don't get it for quite some time, and especially when some people like really continue to try it for over years, it can get really frustrating, and I can totally imagine that. I would lie if I would say that I do not have some doubts at some point, because yeah, it's just very personal information, but I always had a normal period, had always balanced hormones. At least that's what my doctor told me. Never had any type of problem, and he was always saying that everything looked perfect. I was always going for my checkups. Probably a lot of people still do. And that fact that it took a few months for me to get pregnant was still a bit like, is there something off? So we did extra tests, we checked both of ourselves, and yeah, the game was still going on meanwhile. The doctor proposed as well to try to time the intercourse to sort of like increase the chances of getting pregnant next month, which comes with positive and negative sides, because when you time it you have exactly the count of the days, and you want it or not, you sort of look out after that time for any type of clues or changes in your body, especially that internet is full of the information that there should be some type of clues already before you get a period. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let me break the news. I think almost none of them turned out true for me. So most of the people talk about implantation, bleeding and cramping. It's supposed to happen 6 to 12 days when the egg has been fertilized and goes up on the fallopian tube to implant in the uterus. That's the time frame that they talk about, like 6 to 12 days when you could get potentially implantation. Bleeding, apparently quite a lot of girls get that, but I did not have that. About cramping, to be frank, I was having severe cramping when I was super young. Ever since I moved to Germany since 2013, and I started first to take the pills as a contraception, it has completely subsided. I was expecting it to come back when I would stop taking the pill, but it never really did. So if I ever had cramping, it was already when my period was there, but I did not have any pre-cramping in the expecting period whatsoever. The second thing that's often talked about is like basal body temperature being increased, which is a weird thing for me, because if you've been trying to conceive, you definitely know that after ovulation your basal temperature normally goes up, if not instantly the second morning already. In 2-3 days time it definitely has this slight change of 0.3 or 0.5, and that's how you sort of know that ovulation has happened. Then the hormone progesterone is keeping your basal temperature up until you get your period, and then it drops again, the cycle restarts, or you're pregnant and then it stays up. So I obviously had my basal temperature increased every single time until the day my period would come. But I don't think that this is any kind of indicator for thinking that you are pregnant, because if you are having a normal cycle and you are healthy and don't have any problems, the basal temperature naturally increases. Not significantly, but for most of the gals there is this shift in the chart, if you're observing it, obviously. If not, then none of this really matters. The third one, sore, tender and heavy breasts. Honestly, I don't even have them now. Together with this soreness and tenderness, they talked about like change of the colors in the areola. I can swear that I'm in my 20th week right now and my areolas have not changed whole lot. My breasts got slightly bigger and heavier, but this is also a news of like 1-2 weeks right now. There was no change whatsoever, and I remember looking in the mirror checking, oh, is there any change? And they talked about like having small pustulates around the areola, and this being a also early sign before period. I really would want to know if anyone had this before they got period as a super early sign of pregnancy, because I cannot really imagine that happening as early as that. The fatigue, that's also something that I definitely know that a lot of people struggle with. Some people have like really trouble to concentrate at work and fall asleep. They need like little breaks. By the way, when I told to my work that I am pregnant, they told that there are even special rooms where you can go and lay down if you're feeling like tired and you need a little nap, which is a weird thing to think. Honestly, my energy level has not shifted a whole lot pre period or even after, to be frank. I have not really felt anyhow less energized. I was doing sports in the beginning a lot more than I do right now. I got a little lazy. I would not say that there was any shift with regards to that. The nausea, this is an interesting thing. They talked about nausea as a super early sign, and honestly I think before you get period it is way too early to seek out for that. Maybe there are some exceptional cases where it starts on the onset and then stays until very end. I know that some people really have it until they give birth, but I had nausea only when I was sick with COVID, and I also really attribute it to the fact that my body was absolutely exhausted with 40 fever and it staying for over 4 days. Anyway, that's another topic. I really was scared that this would be an end to this pregnancy. I was sick on that level and for 2 weeks long, I must also admit, and that's the period when I had nausea, and there I was already 10 weeks pregnant, like leading to the week 11, which is anyway perceptive for most of such like morning sickness or evening sickness. But as early as that, I really did not have any signs of nausea or changes in the taste or preferences in the meal. The sixth one is bloating and feeling of tightness. This started with me in the 6th, 7th week, but before I got my period, so as a super early sign, that did not really appear. So if you don't see any tightness or bloating in you, don't be surprised and discouraged and think that, oh, this is not working. Actually, in fact, I'm gonna insert a picture. When I actually was pregnant and I did not know, we were in a Georgian restaurant that day. I also got locked in the bathroom because the door was not working. So I really was scared, cried a lot because I have like a little bit of claustrophobia. That's a side info, not related to the pregnancy, but I remember that day very vividly, and I ate so whole lot. And this picture, which I'm inserting here, is taken on that day after the meal, so you can definitely see on the picture that I was like flat as ever and I was pregnant. So yeah, some people get bloated even in the expectation of their period naturally, so this cannot be an indicator of being pregnant. Dizziness, I had this also when I was sick with COVID, but again, no wonder I was sick for 2 weeks with high fever. Mood swings, you guys, I was like a sugar in the first trimester. You can ask Falco. He often says that he was expecting it to be a terror with me, because generally I tend to be quite a difficult person as well, pretty moody, having like really ups and downs in mood swings. Apologies, the memory card was full, so I had to delete some videos, and I might have mislocated the camera right now, so the angle might be different. The next one is the mood swings, which I suffer right now very a lot. I really feel like on the roller coaster, which drives me up and down, and I am not in control, like a teenager, the worst case of teenager. Sometimes I catch myself being so irrational that I stop myself from being that irrational, but yeah, it's not always easy. Anyhow, definitely no change whatsoever as an early symptom, and yeah, if you don't have that, again, that might mean nothing. Constipation as one thing they talk about because of the rise in the progesterone. Apparently the digestive system might adapt and have changed. Generally, that's something that a lot of people suffer throughout the pregnancy, almost up to very end. I can say that for me it has been complete vice versa, and I spend most of the time worrying if that's a sign of miscarriage in the beginning. I just got used to it. But as an early sign, honestly, I did not even see a slightest change in my digestion. It was, as always, headaches and back aches. None of them. I did not have headache at all. Like, I think I had 2 or 3 occasions throughout this entire period, and that was because I forgot my glasses, and that's absolutely natural because I'm seeing everything blur, so my brain and my head is trying to focus and strain myself, and in that case I get a headache. But that really has nothing to do with the pregnancy, and did not have that in the early period as well. The urge to pee is another one that's often discussed. I think the fact that I drink very little, which is a bad thing overall. I always forget it. I always promise myself that I'm gonna drink more, but I don't. And I think that can be one of the contributing factors why I did not have that much of a change. And it would be also surprising this to be a sign of pregnancy that early on. Honestly, so many factors can influence how often you go to the bathroom, starting from how much liquid you take. Even the ovulation kits and the lines can change depending on what type of the day you take them, how much liquid you have taken. So I would not ever trust on this factor alone. Obviously, if there are like number of the signs that you have that might be adding up. So I don't know, like, I feel like that I went through all of the things that I have ever read about, and just as a summary, I rambled quite a lot. I'll probably cut out a lot of it, but as a summary, I wanted to tell, please don't be discouraged by the lack of symptoms. There are people who don't have symptoms even at all throughout the first trimester. I really barely had any symptoms, but I can do a separate dedicated video about it, really detailing what were the ones later on, once I knew that I was pregnant, that I started to notice. But even those were super mild, to the degree that it could have been even in a normal situation, a slight change of a living creature. Every pregnancy is really different, but if you are planning a growing family, please don't put the strain because of lack of the symptoms. That can be absolutely different. Trust the process, of course, get the medical checks, see if everything is fine, but sometimes it just takes time and also some level of relaxation, so that it works out. And I also believe that there is certain level of magic involved. No matter what you try and plan and put into it, things should work together so that you stay pregnant. So yeah, let's go down and lit up the candles because it's second Advent, and maybe I'm gonna bake some cookies for myself because I crave something sweet.